Greetings, friends. Thank you so much for coming back for another Sacred Space chat. And today I'm going to be speaking with Anne Grant, who hopefully you remember from our Bible chat about Gabriel, which is a great one to watch during Advent.
Yeah, anytime really.
So Anne Grant, would you like to say something about yourself?
Yeah, you always ask people what they do in the parish, and you never ask me what I do in the parish.
What do you do in the parish?
I'm a background person. I like to do things that don't require me to be in the limelight, so I don't know why I'm standing up here with Mary Ellen right now, although I told a friend of mine that just walked in that I'm doing it so that I can put straw in my manger for Advent. That's so, right. And no, but really on a serious note, if I can tell one person something about this statue that helps them appreciate it a little bit more, then it makes it worth my time and effort.
And Anne Grant, one of the background things she does for me is she's working in the library. She gets all the library all nice and straight. So visit the library. We have great books in there.
Yes.
Okay, so can you tell us?
Commercial.
This, of course, is a beautiful statue of the Blessed Mother holding the baby Jesus. And would you like to I'll let Anne take it away.
Well, if you try to look this statue up, which you can, you'll find that it has about 3 different titles. It's called the Virgin and the Child, the Mother and the Child, and also the Madonna and the Child. So it's a little confusing, but I did ask Father Wilson what he preferred to call it, and he said he likes the Virgin and the Child. So that's what I go with when I talk about this statue, although I do like Mother and Child a lot. So anyway, many of you that are seeing this little video will remember that this statue used to be in our old St. Mary's Church. But unfortunately, it was tucked away in a little alcove off of the narthex, and you never really got to see it very well or appreciate it. It wasn't a very good spot for her. So I was really thrilled when the decision was made to bring her over here and give her a proper place in our new church. And because she was in that little alcove, I never really had any deep appreciation for the statue. I just never really paid much attention to it. But when I was working on the tours for the new church, was another project of mine that I did. I did want to research the statue and other things that we have in the church so that I could tell people a little bit about them. And that's when I learned more about the statue and especially the artist. And that's what gave me my very deep appreciation for the statue of the Virgin and the Child.
That's beautiful. And I would also just like to say that about the artist, which is Gustave Dore. Several years ago, I read the Divine Comedy, actually, for Lent. We didn't finish it in Christmas, though. But the illustrations in the book were by Gustave Dore, and I just felt like that was a gift from the Lord to me to have the same art as our statue.
Yes, and I'll be talking about that later in our talk. But we're going to step out so that you can see the statue better, and we will just tell you a little bit about it as we are standing by the sideline. The Virgin and Child statue has been part of our parish for 73 years now. It was gifted in 1947 to St. Mary's pastor at the time, Monsignor George Lewis Smith. The generous gift came from Beatrice Lamontagne. She was a winter resident. Her father had purchased that statue in Europe and brought it back as a gift to his wife. The artist of this sculpted bronze piece is Gustave Dore. His name is engraved at the base of the statue. He entered this piece in the 1880 World's Fair in Paris, and it took 3rd place. The statue is about 140 years old, but it still remains timeless. Dore was a prolific artist. He did illustrations, engravings, and sculptures. He was only 51 when he died, and by then he had done over 100,000 illustrations. And Mary Ellen already mentioned that he illustrated Dante's Divine Comedy. He also did Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven and many other famous works.
He also did illustrate the Bible. I have his Bible in my office.
And so it's mind-blowing to me that we have this beautiful statue that was created by such a talented and renowned artist. Now that part is all fact and true, and now I'm just going to give you my interpretation of what I see in the statue and what she means to me. So I think Dore portrayed Mary as a very humble person. She's holding Jesus out in front of her as if she's saying, I am but the handmaid of the Lord, but look at this child. He is the important one. He will save the world. Mary's head is turned toward Jesus in a mother's adoring way, as if to tell us, keep your eyes fixed on Jesus, and he will show you the way and save you. Dore has Jesus leaning lovingly back against his mother. The strong bond between mother and son is very evident, emphasizing the humanity of Jesus. His divinity is shown in the cruciform position of his body, indicating the type of death that he would endure for us. Jesus' arms are stretched out, and his feet are one over the other, as they were on the cross when he died for love of us.
So a couple of things that I love about the statue is Jesus' right hand, to me, looks very much like the hand of Adam in Michelangelo's creation of man, which I think reminds you of Jesus being the new Adam. And I've just always loved that. And I also just love the shadows of his hand and his hand over here. I like seeing the shadows.
For being, typically a statue of Mary just shows her looking,
right,
face
at us often.
Right,
yes.
So I think this is a very
yes.
unique idea
yes.
that Dore put into
right.
his statue here. But I think this is a treasure that we have coming from such a famous artist. And I just hope that everybody can appreciate her just a little bit more. Also, I did want to say, if any of our non-Catholic members are watching this video, that Catholics do not pray to a statue or worship a statue.
Right.
But this statue definitely has the power to draw you in and teach you more about a loving mother and a devoted son. And so I hope in the future you'll take a closer look at her and appreciate the Virgin and the child.
And another thing I like about this statue is I had 4 children, and I did often hold children like that were, squiggling around, and I can imagine that happening, to her, just the baby trying to get out of her hands and doing that. I experienced that.
Well, really, the statue is very large, but when
yeah.
you look at it, it's the figure of Jesus that's predominant.
Right.
And I think when people meet us, that we should portray Jesus
Amen.
Out in front of us before
right.
they even get to know
exactly.
us as a person. So that's another little message that I get from the statue.
Also, following on what Anne mentioned, you'll notice the candles. These are called votive candles. And one of the reasons they're blue is that blue is one of the colors that's associated with Mary, which if you watched an earlier video, you'll notice that Mary is wearing blue in the window. And Catholics do come and they pray, and of course, they don't pray to the statue, it's ultimately to God, but that's something that many people do. And if you have children, when I had children, we always would go into the church anywhere we visited, and my children loved to light candles for grandma or whoever and to say a prayer. So that's something that you would maybe like to come in here and light some candles. So. Any other last comment?
No, that's about it. I love it. I love this statue now.
So thank you so much for coming. So glad you came. Very enlightening. Just all the things you said were fascinating. Very, very fascinating. And I think right after this video is put out, this whole front of the pew is going to be packed first on Sunday for people to sit here
and
during
look at
Mass.
the statue.
So, alrighty. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming, and God bless.